All right, two people in the rating room. Jake, admit. Greg Barlow, admit. Greg Barlow, admit. Admit. Regan, admit. Oh, come on, you. Admit. Hey, Jake.
Hey there.
And you so far are the only one with mics on. I see Regan, Dane, Greg, myself, and Andrew Papalizio representing someone. And here we have Catherine and the Fricks from COA something 385 Washington Street. So we still have another minute. I'm going to wait for Nancy. Greg, I've got your microphone on.
Yeah, I'm in here somewhere.
All right. I don't see.
There I am. Okay.
There we go.
No picture? I want a picture.
Wow, that's up to you. I'm not going to post anything for you.
Here I am. Hi. Everybody's so happy now.
I'm not so sure we need that. Oh, yeah, you look good.
Thank you. All right, fly. Strange, odd color behind me. I must have odd lighting in my house.
I was going to say, yeah, you look, your house isn't on fire, is it?
No, we have yellow walls, but this is kind of ridiculous. Must be the lighting.
Yeah.
We like duller lighting, my wife does, because of her eyes.
And we got Nancy in the waiting room, so I'm just going to hold off until she's connected in. And I think Greg Johnson, nothing from him.
No, I really.
All right. So that leaves just Greg Johnson. But we do have a quorum.
Mhm.
So I will call the December HCC regular meeting to order. There you are, Nancy.
Hi, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Where's the?
Do you want to up the volume?
Yes.
All right. You sound good to us. Now you're off camera.
That's okay. She's putting up the volume.
All right.
It's all the way up.
Okay. Whoops. No, yeah, that's fine.
Where'd it go?
This is Reagan.
Where's
right.
the? I want to get mine. Oh, there it is down here. Okay.
All right. I'll still call it at 5:30 just for our, just like the airlines were on time departure here. Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Good evening.
And welcome again to the December HCC meeting. I'm Tim Dowan, I'm the chairman. Please note the meeting is being recorded. If you're not speaking, please have yourself on mute to prevent any background noise.
Oh, yeah.
I'm letting someone in with just a telephone number. And we'll catch that person if they want to make themselves known. 608-4669.
Hey, Sam, that's me, Greg.
All right. Greg Johnson.
I'm having problems with Zoom on my computer right now.
You on travel?
No, just sitting at home, but it's like Zoom tried doing an update and now it won't launch. So we'll see. I didn't want to. It's like I just figured I'd dial in. If I'll keep trying with the Zoom. Maybe I'll get in.
Go.
All right, that works for us. All right, I'm going to get through this welcoming remarks here. Our meeting tonight's broken up into two sections, the public hearing and the regular meeting. Public hearing is the opportunity for the applicants to present their application and the commission members to ask any questions. Once the public hearing closes, the regular meeting begins, and the regular meetings where the commission will discuss and vote on the applications. Applicants can stay and listen to our regular meeting, but they're not permitted to speak or provide any more information. So make sure that you get everything you want known about your applications during that public hearing section. And members also ask all the questions that you see or have on mind. All right. It's not required that you stay at the meeting. Doesn't work against you or anything here. So if you have anything else to do, but you will receive a written notification tomorrow on our decision and the next business day. So thank you. Any questions?
Not so far.
All right. We get a lot of Greg, you came in on Zoom now, so
I'm here.
all right.
Oh, it's
So-
another Greg. Oh, yeah, there he is.
Yeah. All right. So with that, I'll open up the public. Well, we were already opened up the meeting here. So we have 3 COAs in hand here. 537, 538, 539. They've all been distributed to the members here. So we're going to just take them in order unless anyone has some real pressing need to get out of here. Seeing none, Andrew's shaking his head. So we'll start with 537. This is 372 Washington Street, John Hoover. This is for restoration and other. I believe this is the door and side windows for 372. Andrew, are you here for that?
Yes, I am.
All right. I'm going to give the floor to you.
All right. Yeah, this is, I met with Mr. Hoover about a month or so ago to replace his front door. He was just having some efficiency issues with it. Being that it's historic, the door was designed as a like-for-like replacement. So replacing the door, the side lights on both sides of the door, as well as the surrounding trim on the exterior. All of that is set to be replaced as identically as possible to maintain the historic look of the home. And that's about all I got.
Okay. Questions from the members? Again,
Looking at the pictures.
yeah, as you look at the picture, I did ask about the head jam for that, and that's not going to be changed at all. This is just the side windows and the door, and I believe storm door too, correct? Full.
Yeah, so the storm door as well will match the existing. The head jam, that trim will be replaced, but it's going to be replicated as it is now.
Right.
So everything is custom built on site, so that we can match up exactly what's there.
Okay.
And what are the materials for the windows and that trim? Is that all going to be wood or?
So the door will be a steel door as well as the storm door. The side of the door is going to be wood. I'm sorry, my cat's just running across my desk. Yeah, that will be wood as well on the surround.
With glass.
Correct.
Is it going to have the same appearance as it does now with the 4 kind of divided windows on each side, or?
Yes, that's how it was designed.
Okay.
The application has 3 windows, but it is going to be 4, right? Yeah, that's.
Let me pull up. I've got the picture here as well.
Just want to double check on that. That may be Greg's question also.
Okay. Yep. I see what you're talking about with the 3.
Yeah.
So I'll note that it should be 4 to match exactly what is in there at the moment. But yes, that will have the 4.
Okay.
Good job.
And nothing changes with the lighting or anything like that. You're not touching any of that.
No, sir.
All right. Any other questions from the members?
None here.
Okay. All right. Again, thank you, Andrew. And
Thank you.
if you had to leave, that's fine. It's not gonna hurt you or anything. We'll discuss this when we get to the regular meeting, and you'll hear, and Mr. Hoover will hear our results.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
All right, thank you. All right, next we'll go to 538. This is the Society for the Founders of Norwich, 2 Town Street. And Regan, your name's on this. There you are. And the Norwich Historical Society. This is for reconstruction and fixtures. And I will open the floor to you.
Okay, great. Thanks, everybody. I am changing hats and putting on my Norwich Historical Society hat for this presentation. So as you all know, we've been doing some extensive work on the Greenleaf House located at 2 Town Street in partnership with the Society of the Founders of Norwich. And we're just about at the point with the renovation of the basement level where we're about to start looking to install final fixtures and final pieces of the basement level to make it functional and usable as a space, which is very exciting. Our contractor is looking to do that work and finishing all of that up within about a month or 2. So one of the things we're realizing as we're doing work on this property is that we have a bit of a drainage problem and a bit of a gutter problem. With all of these bad storms lately, we've realized that the existing gutter, which is a wood gutter, has been shingled over when they did the roof, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, which has rendered it absolutely, completely useless. There is water actively getting into the basement level, which has been preventing our contractors from finishing those final fixtures and sheetrock and final installation of other materials. So in order to finish off the space within a month or 2, based on their timeline, we are looking to install a temporary gutter. And the reason why we want to install a temporary gutter is because we do plan in the spring to replace the existing roof with wood shingles. And at that time, when the shingles are off the building, we want to see if it's possible to repair the existing wood gutter. And if we do, then we want to, use the wood gutter. And if for some reason we cannot repair the wood gutter, if it's damaged too far beyond reasonable repair, then we would be looking to install a copper gutter at that point after the new roof has been replaced. So at this moment, in order to finish the restoration and rehabilitation of the lower basement level of the Greenleaf House, we're looking to install just a temporary aluminum gutter, which will solve the drainage issues in the short term with the intention of using a more historic material in the spring when the roof is completely finished. I'm happy to answer any questions, but that's the quick sum of what we're looking to do here.
Okay.
Quick question. Color?
Yeah,
White?
it'll be white, yeah,
Okay,
to blend into the building.
It's on the application, 5-inch K-style gutter, high gloss white.
Exactly.
This is just on the front?
Yeah, but it'll
oops.
just be on the front. What we're finding is that the drainage issues are right in the front area because since there's no gutter, the water is just coming straight down, splashing off the road as well and getting right into the foundation and leaking into the basement.
Right.
So there's probably a nice collection of water right now in the space. So the gutter will and the downspout will help move the water away from the building and help us with some of those drainage issues.
Obviously wood gutters inside, those are the Yankee gutters, or is it a different style? I'm familiar with Yankee gutters, I guess, but
yeah, we haven't been able to really tell what the existing wood gutters look like. We'll be able to tell more when we do the roof replacement in the spring and take the shingles all off and really examine it. But like I haven't gotten up there with a ladder to examine it myself, and I don't think our contractors have checked it out either. But it's just currently unusable since the shingles have been placed over the gutter. So
right, but were those wooden gutters at the end of the roof line and the shingles? Oh, okay. So
yeah.
it is a external gutter. So
Exactly. Yeah.
gotcha.
External wood gutter.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's not going to be hidden. In this case here, once they get up there, it'll still be a external gutter, whether it's wooden or whatever. So, all right.
Yeah, we're not intending to remove the existing wood gutter right now. Like I said, we're just trying to do this temporary solution until we can really address the roof next spring or this coming spring. And at that time, we'll examine if the wood gutter can be salvaged. And if it can, we want to use it. We want to keep it intact. But if not, if for some reason it's, not salvageable, we'll replace it with a copper gutter.
Help my memory a little bit, but Jake, was this similar treatment on yours, or did we see this?
Yeah, it was with me. This was, I don't know, it's the exact same wood gutters, but yes, when they redid the roof, they roofed over them and we then had the gutters put on there. So yep, exact same situation.
Gotcha. Okay. Anyone else? Questions? Hearing none. Regan, you can't leave.
And I'll be here.
But take off your other hat or put on your other hat and we will address that in the regular meeting. And that leaves us COA 539. This is 385 Washington Street. Our applicants are here, Charles and Linda Frick. This is for basically the extension of the, maybe I shouldn't be claiming here. It's new construction, other fencing, but there's stuff behind the fencing that is going to happen here. So I will open the floor to Charles and Linda.
Okay, hello, everyone. As part of a replacement on our current oil furnace, we've decided to go with a heat pump type unit. And due to the size of the house, we have to have 2 of the outdoor units to carry that new load. So in sizing these, our heating contractor showed us a picture of it, and it looks like as they stand ends-wise, as you can see in the photo, that they would protrude a little bit above the existing lattice area, which I think was constructed to hide the original type units, which were much lower. So what we're proposing is just adding a second tier to that existing lattice of a similar material. We have the material already. It's a solid wood construction for the lattice, same style, and then capping it as well on the 2 sides. There will be 2 pass-throughs for the vent pipe for the cellar-based unit of the furnace system, the backup gas heating unit. These are only gray 3-inch PVC style pipes. Tried to make a representation there in the one photograph. And I was told just today by Rich, the heating contractor, that there's no need for them to protrude beyond the lattice itself. So I think they'll be very unobtrusive. It can be painted to match. And I said they're only 3 inches in diameter. So the exact placement of those is unknown, but I think pretty close to what's shown in the photo there. I think that's pretty much it. All wood construction, no plastic. Like I said, to match the lower portion exactly. And I think it's only going to be about 16 inches maybe needed height wise above the existing rail.
Right. And it's very good Photoshop work here, whatever, because it looks like it's been there forever. Just adding that on. So, all right. Open it up for questions.
I have to say, whoever wrote this COA, please give a workshop to everyone else who writes them, because this is really well done.
Well, that was Linda. She did a great job on that.
It really did.
I had one question, Tim. Are you sure about the pipes for the gas backup? Because those look like they're pretty close to the window. I know I had a gas put in on my house and ended up having to run the piping quite a ways because they couldn't be the exhaust couldn't be, had to be a certain distance away from windows and things.
Well, the contractor has stated, and he's from the code, that it's within code. It's going to be behind the lattice fence. So there's those 2 older green ones. Those are staying there for right now, correct?
No,
or those will get out.
Those have been removed.
They have been removed.
Mm-hmm.
And there's question about whether those are gonna be repositioned somewhere else, and we can deal with that in a different COA. But whether the exit comes out, it's gonna be behind the lattice. So,
Well, I'm not sure about that. I think it might have to penetrate through the lattice to,
But not,
because
But
of the
not
obstruction
beyond
of
the
the air, but all the piping, et
Uh,
cetera, will be behind that.
right,
Yes.
I'm sorry, yeah.
I understand.
It looked like in that picture that the exhaust comes out right underneath the window.
My understanding was that, from the contractor, that due to the type of, gas furnace that's being used on this for the backup and the other part of the hot water system, the venting is sufficient in that proximity for the window. It's not a, like a typical gas furnace where you would have a flue and exhaust gases coming out through that. It's a slightly different design. I can't think of the name of it just off the top of my head right at the moment, but evidently, according to him, the proximity there is okay.
Hmm.
So
Okay, because I just have a gas, it's a on-demand hot water heater, and I thought it was gonna be a short pipe. And then when all of a sudden, when he installed it, he ended up running the pipe quite a ways because he said he had to get away from the window.
Well, we've been discussing this location from the very beginning of the job, so there's been a number of measurements and whatnot involved in it, so I think that we're pretty well covered as far as that's exactly where it can terminate.
Okay,
And again, all work, because we had discussed before, on the other side on Harlan Road, no, whichever road that is, Lathrop Road. There's nothing there that's visible. Again, everything right now, other than these two outlets here, whatever, on that, so.
Right.
Yep.
this bottom, that's the view from Lathrop Lane.
Yeah, so as it stands now, you can see the Bilco door there and a little bit of the lower lattice behind it. So we're really not changing very much, just adding a little bit more height to screen over any additional height that, since these units are turns and standing on their sides rather than lying flat, we want to be sure that they're obscured. There's a similar unit there in the picture.
Right.
It's right down at the Huntington house here, so that's my understanding on the size.
Okay.
But once they're in place, then we'll get a final idea exactly of what it's gonna take, but that's a pretty good representation, I think, of what it will be.
Right. Okay. Do we have any further questions from the commission? Hearing none? All right, I will thank you again. You can
Thank
stay or and listen, or you will definitely hear our whatever our action or resolution is.
All right,
So,
that's a fascinating process. We have our two dogs waiting in the car for it.
all right.
They're gonna be chilly. I think we're gonna get back to them.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I have 5:51. We'll close the public hearing and we'll open up the regular meeting. And first order of business will be the action on the COAs. So I'm going to take these as we were presented. So I will entertain a motion on COA 537. This is 372 Washington Street, the door and side windows. And everyone's on mute. Come on, someone.
move-
Motion to accept as written.
Now everyone, I hear Jake first. So
all
Jake,
right, I'll second it then.
all right, Jake, I heard a motion to accept it and second by Greg Johnson. All right, any discussion?
That's
Right.
beautiful.
Greg, aren't you going by a different name now? What's your new name again? I forgot.
Gary, wasn't it?
Gary, that's it. Okay.
Sorry,
Gary, I'll stick G.
all right, any discussion on this? And that was a good catch, I think, by Gary on the 3 or 4 window, just to make sure that they replicate the 4 windows on that. Again, steel door, but it's behind the storm door, so I'm not sure necessarily, that's gonna see any difference or when it's painted, but not sure if anyone has any of that. And my main concern, due diligence on this one was to make sure that head jam remained the same. And they promised that, yes, that's built on site and that'll stay the same, so. All right. Hearing no other discussion, I will bring it up for a vote. Regan,
I,
Jake,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Dane,
Yes.
Greg Farlow,
Aye.
and I say aye. COA 537 passes unanimously. All right, we will go to 538. This is 2 Town Street. And I assume someone's going to recuse themselves, but I'll entertain a motion here for action on COA 538.
I move we approve as presented.
Motion by Nancy. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who was that second? I didn't see.
Jake.
Who seconded that? I'm sorry.
Jake
Jake,
did.
I think.
Okay, Jake. All right. Open it up for discussion.
Seems reasonable. It's just short-term fix will be replaced with something better later, so seems reasonable.
Yeah. I guess my only comment was usually these COAs have the most detailed information and everything, and now they've been replaced by another standard here, so we're gonna. But, all right, any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll go for a vote. Regan,
I will abstain.
all right, Jake,
Aye.
Greg Farlow,
Aye.
Greg Johnson,
Aye.
Dane,
I abstain.
all right. Nancy,
Aye.
I abstain. Just make it. Yeah, I'm laughing well. That's what sort of.
all right, so
I
we
have
have
to abstain, so.
3 abstains from Regan, Greg, Dane. I say aye. Nancy says aye. Greg and Jake, Greg Johnson and Jake. So,
Yeah.
yay! It still passes. I'm going to consider that unanimous since everyone that could
Yeah.
vote voted. So excellent. All right, and you will hear from me tomorrow. Excellent.
We better.
All right, that leaves us COA 539. This is 385 Washington Street, Charles and Linda Frick for the fence modification and venting of the condenser units and furnace. So I'll entertain a motion for COA 539.
Move to accept it as presented.
Motion by Dane. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Greg Johnson. All right, open it for discussion.
It seems pretty reasonable. It seems like it was a great application, a lot of detail. It seems a good job.
Yeah, they did very well, and this I'll be fully honest. They called and they were ready to go, and again, it
Yes.
was an emergency thing of, hey, we're moving the furnace. Everything seems to be an emergency thing. They're moving the furnace, and I looked at it, and the venting at that point was still going to be below, and so I gave the building department again an approval since it wasn't going to be seen, but knowing that these, when they put the condenser units and stuff, they would have to put this in. So in full disclosure, I did give them the approval. That said, this is another one of these things of it's an emergency, and I don't believe they've had someone come in to move that furnace yet. So everything's an emergency, but it didn't necessarily come to fruition right then and there. But good that we at least from everything that I discussed, it was going to be hidden. So I felt comfortable with letting that go and letting us get on to the fencing and the real changes that we're going to hopefully be seeing would have been seen, so. So, any other discussion? Hearing none, I will go for a vote. Regan?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Jake?
Aye.
Greg Farlow?
Aye.
Greg Johnson?
Aye.
Dane?
Yes.
Nancy?
Aye.
And I say aye. 539 passes unanimously. Excellent. All right. Next on our agenda, we have approval of the minutes of Wednesday, November 15th. Hopefully, all have had a chance to review those, so I'll entertain a motion on action of the draft minutes from November. Someone want to entertain someone want to make a motion?
Motion, sure. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as
Motion.
presented from last month.
All right, motion by Greg Barlow, second.
I'll second.
Second by Dane. Does anyone have any amendments or discussion on the meeting minutes?
And then
Go ahead and
the
set up
only
the
thing that I
computer
was
anyways.
noticing is I think Dane and I were both in person last month, and I think it says Dane was on Zoom, so.
Yeah, I do see that.
So that was the only thing I noticed, but other than
Mm.
that, great job, Catherine, thank you.
Yeah.
And Jake's in there twice. I noticed that like 5 minutes ago.
He
I
just
deserve 2 spots.
public building, yeah. All right, so if you can make
Yeah.
that modification, Dane is not Zoom
I
and,
couldn't remember if Dane was here in person or not. Sorry, Dane.
oh, I remember it clearly. He was an integral part of this meeting here, but all right. And then just strike
Yeah.
Jake's second one. I will, hearing no other amendments?
Yeah,
All right, I will go for a vote. Regan,
Aye.
Jake 1 and Jake 2.
Both of us are good with it. Aye.
Greg Farlow,
no problem. Go ahead.
Greg Johnson,
Aye.
Jake, Dane,
Aye.
Nancy.
You know, it looks like I didn't get them. I must have gotten them, but we can't find them and I don't remember them ever being printed. So I can't really, I guess I have to be, not vote for that because I
All
can't
right.
read them.
Yeah,
All
it was
right.
on the same email with the other stuff.
All right, is that, I guess that's an abstain? just
Abstain
no
or
vote?
something.
Okay. Yeah, let's put it down as an abstain and I will vote yay. So the meeting minutes pass. Please do your magic in getting rid of that draft watermark and pass them on to City Hall clerk.
Okay.
All right. That brings us to chairman's report. And I see, but the only thing I was gonna say, I guess that's in new budget, new business, so I don't have anything else to add. I did notice though, so I do have something to say, I guess. Our bed and breakfast, Marco, the B&B Lathrop Manor, a lot of action down there, and it looked like the back building,
Okay.
they
You
put
okay?
some
Oh,
more
sure.
tarp or something over it, so I'm not sure if they're getting ready to do something, but it had gone a little bit in disrepair, but still nothing observed from them, and we did have a cleanup of the meadows, and so I think someone had broached them from the meadow portion, welcoming them, but I haven't again touch base with them. I think Regan, you may have sent a letter saying, hey, you're in the historic district, but
I did, yeah, I did.
still nothing coming across our site for so. So that's all I had for necessarily for old business, or I mean, excuse me, chairman's report. So we'll go into old business. And this is the one where we do have an updated COA application. Thank you, Regan, for that. I think this was all again included. I'm not sure if anyone else had put their 2 cents in or not. if anyone has had a chance to look at it. And
Yeah, I'll just chime in quick, Tim, and say that the goal of the new COA application was to fit everything on one page so that there's, no issues moving forward with applicants getting confused about multiple pages with applications. So everything has been formatted to fit onto one page. I'm also going to work with the city to see if they could make it a, like a fillable form. I think that will also be, I don't have the capability, I don't have the platform to do it, but I'm hoping maybe the city does, so we could make it billable. So again, there's. You guys mind muting Nancy? Sorry, Nancy.
all right, keep going.
So I was just saying that everything has been formatted to be on one page where people can check off the proposed work. And there's also a space for writing a short narrative, but there's also an indication that if they need to attach additional pages to continue the narrative, that they would need to do so as well. But trying to streamline the process, and I'm certainly open to any feedback or modifications to this draft. Like I said, this is a draft, so it can be changed based off any feedback from tonight. So thank you.
And I had put in the 3 cents input on that, but whether welcome or not, if they're able to make this fillable, different portions there, the only other thing would be, I don't know in PDF of making attachments. So like, I assume people are going to be putting in spec sheets or pictures or anything like that, and whether it has to be a separate PDF document or something that is attached to this, that they would be able to click on and just drag and drop or do something would be nice, but I'll leave that to the IT department, I guess, if they're able to do that. If not,
I'll mention that to the city. I think what the applicant may have to do is just print them out and scan them. So it's all in one document, because I know that's how the city clerks want applications all in one document. The other thing that I wanted to just mention too, that I forgot to when I was originally speaking, was that I have changed the time awarded for a COA to be valid for a year. I think 6 months is sometimes too short of a time period to get certain things done. I know I've certainly asked for extensions on projects over the years. So thinking that a year would be plenty of time for people to get work done, and so that it prevents people from coming back for extensions more frequently. So I just wanted to call that to everyone's attention as well.
the 6 month is not written anywhere else in some other decree or document, right? That's
I
at
don't
our
think so.
discretion. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I've seen other commissions, like I think Windsor and Weathersfield, they have applications be valid for a year. So I figured we might as well.
Yeah, I would agree with that one, and certainly save us from, we've had a couple people asking for a little bit of an extension, and I agree, if you get into the winter months and you can't get to it, then all the better to make it a year. It just means, I guess, if they do delay it, keep an eye on it to, if we are going to revisit any of the sites to make sure they're doing what they say they're doing, it just extends that out a little bit, but that's fine.
Mhm.
I would almost advocate for, and I haven't thought this out real well, but I would almost advocate for a tough love statement that basically says, listen, pictures are required, full descriptions required, and if they're not on here, we
Come
can't
back
guarantee
next month.
approval.
Yeah,
Come back
I was,
next
I agree
month.
with that, and I was gonna suggest getting rid of all of those check boxes of type of work, because sometimes people just check those and think that's sufficient and do nothing else. Get rid of all that, have the open description and say fully describe the work, and that you must include photos of existing condition and sketches of what the will look like at the end. You know,
And I would almost,
yeah, make it clear that stuff's not optional.
yeah, and I would almost add to that, that this is gonna be done at our next meeting. So if you go to fill it out, just know that this is when this is gonna take place. It's gonna be at the next meeting.
Well, it's when they submit it. So as long as they submit it before the Tuesday, the week before, it'll get addressed at meeting. So
Agreed.
where are you
But-
seeing that? Up in the top part, we're saying it has to be submitted by email prior to the second Tuesday of the month.
I agree, Tim, and perhaps I said it poorly. I think I would emphasize that that's what it is, because second Tuesday of the month is kind of hidden. I'd almost just bold that or underline it just so people understand. So I agree with you 100%. Just kind of pop it out a little bit.
Okay. All right. As far as checking off the stuff, Regan, forgive me, other applications, if someone went in, I agree, sometimes people just check those off. As long as we're saying this other stuff has to be here, I think that's the main concern. If Greg, what you're bringing up, and Jake, you're bringing up, that they have all of the other pictures, not that it's optional, then the other part about, hey, this is new construction, or this is a alteration, or any of that, I'm trying to think of which check marks, I guess, that you're looking to.
I would get rid of all of them, because if they're going to describe the work that's going to be done, why do you need a checkbox?
My only argument in favor of a checkbox is in case any of the data was to be aggregated, like if we wanted to see how many types of projects were happening for whatever reason. I don't know if that's essential, but there could be some type of argument in favor of just having a measurable metric instead of just an open description. That's just my thought.
Who's going to do that?
I don't know, but if for whatever reason we wanted to find that out, it could be that's the way we'd be able to do it.
Yeah, well, normally sorry, Greg, I didn't mean to interrupt you. The only thing I'll say too is that normally at the end of the year, we have to do a tally of how many COAs for the city and for the state that we received. And I do think Dane has a point that if we need to know, let's see, how many window applications do we have this year? It's at least easier to quickly look at the check marks versus, reading through a long narrative that someone provides.
And I would take that as, again, due diligence when it's provided that we make sure they're checking the right boxes, I guess. So if we do want to have that data capability gathering, as opposed to having to go back and read it, I kind of prefer the check boxes, whether we can streamline this a little bit more and get less of a list here, or whatever, or less of I keep on looking at it as lines here. We may be able to condense some of this, but I'm in favor of some of the check boxes, certainly the ones of the proposed work down below. The type of structure, is that something that comes up, the state or city or someone wants, of whether it's residential or non-residential or any of that, or I'm not sure how many we have of non-residential, or.
I added that this is that the type of structure is something new that I added to it, because sometimes we've had people do garages. Sometimes it's been the house, sometimes it's been a shed. I thought it might be helpful to have that noted about what kind of structure the COA is for. So that was an addition that I had done.
Yeah.
I guess my preference would be to have the form designed to meet the need we have, which is to give us the information and not worry about trying to collect data that nobody has ever used in the past, and there's no plan to use in the future.
I hear what you're saying, Greg, but I don't think there's any reason to get rid of the check boxes. I think we should have at least require people to provide a written description.
Well, it takes up half of the pages, those check boxes.
Well, then it gets reformatted.
And you're trying to keep it on one page. I mean, if it's everything was on the web page and it was just like pull down menus and it didn't take up a lot of space, then
it's very easy to reformat.
So.
Yeah.
And I just have to say, I think keeping things to one page is I don't think it's something we really should worry about. If you have a historic home and you want something done and we require information and it takes a page and a half to do that, then it takes a page and a half.
Yeah.
I think making it down to one page is a fictitious goal that we don't really need to meet. Just my opinion.
Well, especially if you're having pictures and everything else. It's got
Correct.
multiple pages anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, the application itself with the addition of maybe a lengthier narrative or images, the application will be multiple pages. My goal was to keep the form itself as one page. Because right now our form is like 5 pages. So
Right.
that was what I was trying to avoid.
And I appreciate the fact of all the other guidelines of filling it out or any of that stuff. That's already on the website, so they're
Right.
able to get that information. That doesn't have to be part of the PDF file that we have. So I agree.
Regan, I have to say, as a first go at this looks really good. And
Thank
I
you.
think if we made those, check marks, something that's a requirement, like they can't go past it without at least checking the selection. I think there's a lot to be said for that. And Greg, I agree with you that we've never checked it in the past and we may not check it in the future. But I know in my own life, I've gone back and thought, wow, it'd be really cool if I knew A. So it's kind of one of those things where maybe someday we look back and we say, hey, how much new construction was done in the historic district? And it would give us something to look back on. Just a thought, just
Yeah,
throwing it out there.
But until it's all, unless it was all electronically entered, like through the website or something, you'd still have to go back through all of the paper records or the scans of the paper records to see that anyway.
Well, the benefit would be we could also just look
Valid
back on
point.
agendas, because the agendas would have, if it's a new construction addition, whatever. So at least we'd only be looking at agendas for the month versus having to go back into each individual COA. So
Right.
that's just another thought. But I'm certainly open to tweaking. I can play with the formatting a bit more. I'm also happy to share examples of other COAs from other commissions if everybody wanted to kind of take a look and see if there was elements from other COAs that you liked and wanted to incorporate into our COA. So it's a process, and we can continue to talk about it for next meeting.
Thank you again for doing this, Regan. That it looks great as an initial draft. Really nice.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jake.
Then we will table this for further tweaking on this, and these can be sent out as we tweak it mid meeting. We don't have to wait until the end of it. So if we want to condense some of these check boxes and expand out on that description, all the better. I think I had asked for a little bit more description down on the office use only here for any of the modifications or reason for denial. But again, there's, with the limited ability I have with my Adobe, I suppose I can shrink the font down and get my comment in there and in the right place here. So, all right. So we will work on that and bring it back to the commission for the next meeting, and maybe you'll see something in between. I believe you did already provide 2 other examples of, I can't remember what towns they were. So if you can resend those out, I know it was recent anyway, but.
Sure. I think it was Weathersfield and Windsor, and I can send those again.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you. Anyone else have any old business that I've forgotten about? No. So new business. And we have our budget for 2024 due to city for the 5th of January. Regan, you would provide the template for that, and that worked out well last year. Again, our biggest probably spending on anything is for our secretary, and in order of or priority here or whatever is to make sure we have a secretary that's covered here. We do have our postings for legal notices. Just reminded me for our meeting here, our training meeting, the legal notices. I'm going to admit I forgot to submit it for this time. I don't know what got over me, but it was not until yesterday or the day before I thought to myself, wait a second, I didn't submit that. And you know what? I haven't heard any complaints about it. that said, I guess that saves us $108.18, whatever it was. But again, that's one of our big budget items there, and then whatever IT is providing us. But we will continue to put in our budget here and look for a little bit of increase to make sure that those things are covered. Any of our mailings and stuff are covered. We'll still put in for money for any plaques, just to have it on the budget in case we do get around to providing historic preservation awards, and we'll get that submitted by the 5th. I'm not sure, again, Regan, you had it well laid out of all I did was double check from whatever you had before and submitted that. And so I plan on doing the exact same thing, using that same format.
Yep, that's perfect. And I would just maybe add in the description, Tim, that we are requesting an increase in the legal notice line item. Like I just did some math, and if it's about $108 a month, just times that by 12, and that'll give us the number that we would need to cover legal notices. And so with the budget request, I would just add that into the description, saying that we have returned back to using legal notices, and therefore need to make sure we have enough funds to offset those costs.
And I would add in maybe an extra one or whatever if we ever got called to do a special meeting or something like that, just to make sure we've got them covered.
That's a good idea.
So that will, again, our deadline is 5 January. We'll get that over, and I will run that past you, Regan, if you don't mind, before I hit the submit button. Talking to Dean, well, it doesn't go to Deanna, but our budget goes under Deanna's roads planning department. So, all right. I don't have any other new business. Our next meeting. So what time's the training? Is it 7 or 6:30?
Yeah, so I sent a couple emails out today with the Zoom link for the training tonight at 7. It's virtual. The training is being hosted by the State Historic Preservation Office and Preservation Connecticut. And if possible, I would encourage all to attend. It should be a good overview of some basics, but then also some information that we may not know as well. So if you can, certainly Zoom in. If you can't, I do believe it's being recorded, and I would encourage everyone to at least watch the recording.
I had the same issue with Greg Farlow. I couldn't remember whether I had signed up before or not, and it said, hey, this is closed out. So I did get your other email with the Zoom link. I suppose that's available for everyone there.
Yeah, I hope everyone got it, because I think I sent it to the whole group. So use that link, and if you have questions, just let me know.
Okay.
Hey, Tim, I had one thing.
Yeah.
And maybe this isn't exactly HDC business, maybe it's more historical society, but a question is, anything we can do to have the city take better care of the old burial ground, as far as removing dead and dying trees? Every storm we have, tree limbs and trees come down and damage more of the burial stones. This latest storm is a good example of that. I mean, there's been this dead tree sitting there for years, and this storm, it came down and it demolished at least one gravestone.
Yeah. I don't know. Does that fall under HDC, or is that, I know it's the Boy Scouts sometimes that go in and try to do some repairs, and I don't know if the historic.
No.
Well, I know it came before the HDC when the veterans wanted to put the flagpole up there.
Okay. All right. Well, I will, if that's under our purview and jurisdiction, then I will make note of that and go to, who do we go to in the?
So the Public Works has a tree warden where they review dangerous trees that need to come down. I think her name, actually, she might have retired now that I think about it. I'll have to ask who the new tree warden is. But in theory, the Public Works has someone on staff who is supposed to, be in charge of dangerous trees and, have them come down when they're dangerous.
All right. As far as repair of any of the, I mean, they don't do any of the repair of the stones or anything like that, correct?
Public
I've
Works,
never seen them do that.
Yeah.
they do and they don't. I mean, it's a case by case basis, let's put it that way.
And you brought up the flagpole. Is that the flagpole down by Leffingwell's with the light on it? Was that? It
Yeah,
came-
that's the,
it
yep,
came in front of us? Yeah,
yeah.
I don't remember that, but all right. Okay, I will get in touch with Public Works and the tree warden and find out what we can do. I'll take a run through the meadow there and
Mhm.
maybe get a couple pictures and again, ask for where it stands in the list of things that they have to do here. So I'll report back next time.
Thank you.
All right. I will do last nickels. Hearing no last nickels, our next meeting is January 17th, 5:30. We will keep it as a hybrid meeting. Everyone good with that?
No problem.
All right.
January 17th, yep, in the
17th.
book.
All right. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
No one wants to adjourn.
Motion by Greg, and seconded by Greg, and you can decide which Greg you want. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. We are adjourned. We'll see you in January, guys. Have a happy holiday and thank you very much.
Thank
You as
you.
well. Thanks for your
Thank
work.
you.
Tim.
Bye.
All right. All right. Now I was going to ask you.